Hey everyone, it's Siobhan here. Hope that you are well. Welcome back to the Womanhood series. We are on episode 9. Now, I have to say, we've been gone for a little while, so I'm really happy that we're back. And we're back with a punch because I've got an amazing panel of guests, as always. But these guys are phenomenal. And today we're going to be talking about the work-life balance as a businesswoman. So I'm going to bring them into the studio so you can meet them for yourselves. Hello, everyone. How you doing?
Hi.
How are you guys? Okay.
Good evening.
Amazing. Well, I mean, first off, it'll be great for you guys to share who you are, what you do. So I'll start with Jem, if that's all right.
Yeah, hi, evening everybody. I'm great. Thank you very much, Siobhan, for having me on the show. So I'm Jem. I'm an independent marketing consultant, and I love working with purpose-driven female entrepreneurs to help them be more strategic and more confident on social media. So I specialise in social media.
Amazing. Thank you, Jem. And so here, over to you, please.
Hi everyone. Hi, thank you for inviting me. My name's Shair Bashir and I'm a hair and makeup artist. And with a little bit of a twist, I have a mobile studio on wheels. So I have a van that I've converted and I look after ladies who like to look after themselves.
Amazing. And Dumebi, over to you.
Hi, I'm Dumebi. I work in TV and film. I'm a makeup and hair designer, stroke makeup artist for film and TV.
Amazing. Thank you. Honestly, guys, it's wonderful to have you with us today. We're going to be talking about the work-life balance as business women who have young families. So to kick off, let me first say thank you to everyone who's showing up right now. We've got 4 visitors, and I hope we get some more. Guys, you are more than welcome to send in any questions, and at the end, we will do our very best to answer them. So please fire away in the comments box, okay? So let's start off with a little bit about your everyday life. What does it look like when it comes to running your business and looking after your family? So here I'm coming to you. I can see she was like, over to you,
Don't do
love.
it. What does it look like? It looks like you wake up and run a marathon every day, but you win every day. and it's definitely doable. I've forgotten what a day off feels like. Like that would be nice. But then at the end of the day, you kind of have that sense of achievement that you've managed, all the things that you wake up to think that you're going to do, but then you think maybe I'm not going to be able to do it. All those self-doubts, by the end of the day, once you've done them, you feel that achievement. So yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely amazing. So here is owner and founder of the Makeup Box, and you can check her out. It's the Makeup Box official on Instagram. So here, just share with us your family setup. How many kids do you have?
I have 3. I have a daughter. She's doing her GCSEs at the moment. And I have a 12-year-old son and a 8-year-old, I forgot his age, an 8-year-old son, a very active 8-year-old son. So you have to make sure we go to football practice. We have to make sure we do all those things in between seeing clients and making sure the clients are happy.
Amazing. So yeah, you definitely have your hands full. I know that boys have a lot of energy. Let's just shout out to Mr. Money Control. Hey, and we've got Janice Speckles as well. Thanks for your shout outs to us. Hope that you are well, guys. So Dumebi, over to you. So what does your average day look like? And tell us a bit about your family setup as well.
Okay, I'm a single mum. I have 2 boys. One is 15 and the other one is 4. So, quite a big gap. But, what it consists of getting them ready for school when I'm home. If I'm not home, I have a nanny. I have a living nanny and she helps. So when I'm working, she takes my place. She takes him to school, takes the big one, sorts himself out. But the little one, she takes him to school and brings him back, makes the food. So that helps me because my hours usually are very unsociable. I could leave the house at like 5 o'clock in the morning and not return until 10. at night, you know. So it is quite challenging, sorry, but it's rewarding as well, because I'm able to give my children what they need and provide for them, you know. So and also I have days off, I have time off. So if I'm working on a job for like 3 months, I can then take off like a month or two to then be a mum, which that works for me. Do you know what I mean? So at this time I'm having time off, so it's good.
Nice.
It's good. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? When you're working for yourself, to have that flexibility around the kids, isn't it? So that's amazing. Wonderful. And then over to Jem. Tell us a bit about your day, you know, average day, and what your family setup looks like.
Yeah, so I guess my work day is built around the kids' schedule. So it's very much I'm around for school, pick up and drop off, and do all the sort of deep thinking work that I need to do in the time that they're at school, all the meetings. And then after I pick them up from school, I've got an 11-year-old and 8-year-old, so they're old enough now to let me sit. I work from home, so I've got a home office, to sit in my home office and finish off anything that I need to do. But I tend to plan it that the stuff that I do in the afternoon tends to be lighter. It's either admin or just, sort of emails. And often, if work is really, really busy, then after they go to bed, I'll continue to work as well. So it is very much kind of fitting it around their schedule, which, works for me. And working from home obviously gives me that flexibility. But there are times where there's definitely an imbalance. And we'll talk about the juggle struggle. And it definitely is a juggling act to sort of make sure that you're present, but you're still thinking of yourself and not feeling guilty when you're going off and working for yourself. And yeah, it can be all a bit crazy. But I think sometimes the mental load is often more like weighs us down more than, say, the actual doing it, is because we actually as mothers feel more guilty working and parenting than, say, a man would working and parenting. So I think that kind of is one part of the dynamic, which I think is very unique to women business owners.
Absolutely. I mean, Jem, you just literally hit the nail on the head, because I was going to go next onto this parent guilt that we have. It's really, really challenging, isn't it? Because there's days where you're high, there's days where you're low. For me, it's like if my daughter's homework isn't done in time, I'm like, oh, I've missed the mark in helping her and stuff. So guys, how do you deal with the parent guilt and it not like consume you? How do you deal with that? I'll go over to Dumebi to start.
Well, me personally, last year I worked way so much to where I think I had about 3 weeks off. And I said to myself for the whole year, and I said to myself, this year I'm taking time out for the children, because I felt like they've missed me. I wasn't able to do the things that I would usually do with them. And I felt guilty. And so I said, this year, I'm not going to work as much. I worked so much last year so it could sustain me for the year, for this year. But I am going to still work, but not in the capacity that I did last year, And you feel it, you see it, because I see it with my children, me not being there as much as I should have been last year. I could see how it impacted them in their work, my big boy's work, and just missing having a mum around. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm very close to my kids, and me making a decision last year just to put myself really out there, to achieve what I wanted to achieve. It reflects on the children greatly. So that's why I'm so much around. I've been so around the first 3 months of this year. I've worked literally probably about 2 weeks of this year.
Right.
Yeah, and it's been good, but I am throwing myself back in at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But not at the capacity that I did last year. I can't do that again, you know. But I love what I do, so it doesn't even feel like work. And and I love being with my kids. I love being a mum. I love cooking. I like them to appreciate my food. Do you know what I mean? I love taking them out
Yeah.
and doing activities with them. So it's all about finding the balance and knowing that your children are okay, you know, with what you're doing.
Absolutely. No, amazing. Over to you, Shair. How do you deal with the parent guilt?
Do you know what? I think that parent guilt is always going to be there. But if you are doing the best that you can do, you should really not feel that guilty, because ultimately you're doing it to support them, really, you know, and to show them that it's doable. Like when I've got to go and see clients and we haven't done the homework, it's kind of their responsibility as well. Like, I need to make them understand that it's not for me to hold your hand all the time and always be there nagging at you to do it. It is now your responsibility. But they're quite good. I'm quite lucky. I've got a really good older daughter. She's like second mum, you know. She makes sure things are done, and I've never had to worry about her. The boys, on the other hand, yes, I do have to chase them around the house with a broom, but that's another story. But it gets done, you know, it gets done. And as far as the guilt goes, I think that's in our own control. You know, you can either spend all day feeling guilty about it, or just remind yourself and recenter yourself that actually ultimately you're being the best role model for your child, because you've got to be able to do everything and get on with life, you know. Can't just So yeah, I try to keep the guilt minimal, but it does happen. You just got to learn to live with it and do your best, you know.
Absolutely. It's a very positive spin on it there, Shair. So thank you for that. And then Jem, over to you. How do you deal with the parent guilt?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that Shair said. It's like it's always going to be there, and there's no like life hack to it, really. So, but we've just got to accept that we're all just doing our best. I mean, Dumebi, you worked really hard last year, but you did it for a reason. You had to do it, and that also was good for your kids to see you working so hard. So, you know, and I do think that it has peaks and troughs where you can be really present all the time, but there's times where your work does take you away a little bit, and maybe acceptance is the key to the fact that you just can't please everybody because there's only one of you. But I think the concept of balance is a little bit of a myth, because I think that with work-life balance, there's always a compromise. There's always something. You can't do it all and you can't be it all. So actually, if you just kind of give up that sort of stereotype of having that like really beautifully balanced life, because I don't think anyone does, and realize that you can be certain things at certain times really, and you can do them really, really well, but you just can't be everything to everyone all of the time. So if you accept that you're doing your best, and if you accept that it's not a linear process, you know, balance isn't something that you get and then it stays. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. Then I think that you realize that actually that it kind of helps with the guilt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that, isn't it? Because we do have this perception that, to be a successful mum as well as a successful business owner, you've got to get everything right. You've got everything balanced. So yeah, absolutely. This is why having these conversations is so important, because then it lets other people know that they're doing all right, you know, and that this is normal. So let's talk inset days, summer holidays, half terms, the random days when, I'm not feeling well, but we've got to change our whole schedule. How do you guys deal with that? Do you have like systems in place? Do you have like a support network behind you? How do you deal with those moments? I'm going to fire that back to Jem to start.
Well, I think yeah. So I think that's the parenthood penalty, isn't it? The fact that we're expected to work as if we don't have kids, and to parent as if we don't have work. And then summer holidays come along, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to do it all? But they always say it takes a village, and I think it really, really does. I think working for myself and the type of work that I do means that I can scale up and scale down according to what's going on in the year. So I do try and work less when the kids are off, but I do have a nanny, and then try and get into holiday clubs. And then obviously my husband, we try and balance it between ourselves and grandparents. So it's, to be honest, I can't say I've got a fixed framework every holiday. It's just a case of taking, sort of, I don't know, just doing the best each time there's a holiday. And I think one thing I did realise, though, it was before Christmas, I said to my husband, why am I always the one that thinks about the holidays and what the kids should be doing? Like, I work and you work, and yet I'm the one organising the nannies and blah, blah, blah. And that really, like, I was like, hang on a second, because it takes quite a lot of work to organise their schedules and stuff. So I think that's an imbalance that needs to be addressed. Not just, I'm sure, in my relationship or partnership, but I'm sure with a lot of families as well. It's just that, it always falls on the mum to sort those logistical things out. And that actually has a detrimental effect on our careers.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it is, kind of almost like changing the culture, isn't it? Changing mindsets, and that's going to take time, but we'll get there.
They are talking a little bit about I don't know if it's going to happen, by shortening summer holidays, because it's actually really difficult for working parents. So I think it's like 6 to 7 weeks now, and I think they're thinking of shortening it to 5 to make it easier for working parents, and then adding that week onto another half term. Which I think it just makes sense. It's like, why, you have to build a school system around sort of the work culture as well.
It's true. I mean, even the time as well. If you think about the time they're at school and the time they finish, by the time you've commuted somewhere, you've only got about 4 hours until you have to go back to get them, isn't it? So we've all been in that loop. Dumebi, with you, obviously you do a lot of work that can be out of the country. So for you, obviously, you shared that you have a nanny that stays with you and looks after the boys. So how do you deal with the half terms and summer holidays when you're not around? What does that look like with you and the kids? And if, for example, they were ill, how do you deal with it?
Well, the younger one, while I was abroad, he came away with me.
Oh,
the
amazing.
Big one, he came with me. I went to Ireland. Both of them came with me to Ireland.
Nice.
The big one was only meant to come for the Easter holiday and then go back over. But because of the whole COVID thing, he ended up staying with me for the whole 8 weeks and done online education. And then I had a nanny come out with me. So they were doing activities in the day while I was working. And then I'll come back and be a mum in the evenings. And then I had weekends off. So we'll do something on the weekends while we were out there. And the same when I went to Poland, the little one came, the big one didn't want to come, so he stayed home. So it's just worked. I've always made it, luckily, I've been in a position that I can bring the children, or I have that chance to bring them with me. Do you know what I mean? But now that the little one's a bit older, he's now in school, it's different. So we're going to see how the dynamics works this time around. But thank God, it's just been okay. It's been okay so far. Yeah. Do you know? So we're just moving forward. I'm just going to see how it goes. But I'm only taking jobs now. This year, I said, in this country. Because I don't really want to be away this year. It's a crucial year for my big son. He's doing his GCSEs. And the little one just started school. So I just felt like this year is quite crucial for me to be home. And be present.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing that you can take the kids, because it gives them really special experiences as well, isn't it? To be able to see how mum works. They'll be very inspired by that, I'm sure, which is amazing that you have that opportunity. That's fantastic. And over to Sahir.
Yeah, they came to work as well some days.
Sorry, say that again, Dumebi.
I was saying they even came to work just to see what it was like when I was out in Ireland, a couple of the days, which was nice that I was able to bring them out to work with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel quite blessed. I do.
Absolutely. That's amazing. But I think we should all be able to do that, isn't it? Take the kids with us, that's great. I love that. So Shair, yes, over to you. How do you deal with the breaks, school holidays and stuff?
We have an agreement that I will always take a day or two off in the week when they're at home. So we kind of say, look, allow me. I'll literally ask them, allow me to work these days, and then this day we'll do this. So we've got that. In the holidays, I've got a really nice support network where other mums will take the kids with them with their kids. So they're never really at home being bored. So if one mum's taking her children, do you want me to take yours as well? Yes, please.
Wow.
So we do that for each other. So we're kind of like, I've got a really nice mums network that we all look after each other. And grandparents, long live grandparents. I've got mum and dad, So they're my backbone, to be honest with you. Like I'm not allowed, like if I'm booked in for a job, there's no way that I can't turn up. This is somebody's special event that they've hired me for. Like I can't just turn up and, oh, my son's not feeling well, can't come to your wedding. It's not going to work, So I always have to have plan B in place. 9 out of 10 times, it always works out. You always find a way. But then we have agreements of, look, they allow me to work certain days, and I'll just make sure the day I don't have a job, we'll be like, well, what about this day? This, and just find stuff for them to do. But it works out. I think, again, I take my daughter to work with me as well, so she can actually see what we do. She's she makes my little videos for me for Instagram and stuff. So yeah, she's my little sidekick. So she gets the hands-on experience. Like they have to see what we do outside of home to appreciate a little bit of adulthood. But no, it's okay. We kind of, I think whatever situation you're put in, you find a way. I think that's what we're built for, right? Like we never just give up. It's always like, no, we're going to work this out. It's fine. It's snowing. It's okay. We'll work it out. But no, it's okay. It works out. It's working so far, I hope.
No, that's amazing. And you're right. I mean, bringing them to work, it gives them a little bit of some insight into what we do, but it also can inspire something for them as well. So when they, grow up, they can be like, right, I've seen my mum do this, I can do this too, kind of thing. And that's amazing. Guys, you are more than welcome to send in your questions. Hi, Natalia. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your message. Right. So let's really right back to basics. Why did you choose to start working for yourself in the first place? I'm going to go to Jem. Why did you decide to make that decision?
Well, I started working for myself before I had kids. I moved to America about 14 years ago and gave up a very busy, crazy job in central London, heading up a PR and marketing agency here, and moved to Washington, DC with my husband because he got a job over there, and I sort of landed in the country not knowing anybody and not having any work, and just saw a gap in the market in Washington, DC for, at the time I was working in the music industry, there was a gap in the market for a publicist and marketeer to represent local musicians. So I started to work for myself and realised that I actually really loved it and built up my business that way very, very slowly. And then had my son over there probably 2 years after I started working for myself. And I do remember thinking, how would I have done this if I'd been working for my old company? I don't know how I would have done it, because I was doing things like I'd wake up, I'd work because I was working from home, and then I'd take a 2-hour nap because I was so tired because I was pregnant, and then I'd work some more, and then I'd have a nap, and then I would just I was just literally fitting my work around my energy levels, and I just thought I just don't know how I would have done it. So it was fortunate that I had that set up and I could do that. And then then my business just grew from there. 5 years later, I moved to Chicago, and when I moved to Chicago, I expanded my business there and got very involved in the with other. Chicago's got the highest rate of female entrepreneurs in the whole of America.
Wow.
So I met a lot of other mothers in business, and I joined a Mums in Business Facebook group. And they had monthly networking events, and through this one Facebook group, Power Social Media, grew my business. And sort of 18 months later, someone posted in the group asking for a PR or marketing person. I was recommended, so it was an amazing mechanism for me. But we diversified actually and represented a lot of parenting brands. I represented one of the biggest parenting brands in the US, a brand called MummyCon, and worked with a lot of other mums in business. So really kind of got into that community and understood, how other people were sort of basically juggling it all. And I found and discovered actually that a lot of other mums started their own businesses as a result after they had children, because they realized that actually the typical 9 to 5 corporate culture just didn't serve their needs at all. And so they started up on their own, and that was their inspiration. It was a necessity. I think often people start their own businesses more out of, it comes from a passion, but often I feel like it comes from a necessity as well, a drive to do something different, or there's a particular life reason or personal reason that makes you do that. So yes, that was that's kind of how it all evolved.
That's amazing, because I mean, then you've had that experience from before you had the kids, seeing how the dynamic changed when you started having the children, but also that perseverance as well. I mean, being pregnant is hard work. So to have a business and be doing it around your nap times and stuff like that, that's incredible that you persevered through that. And your kids are on that journey literally from the beginning, isn't it? To see how mum works in that type of way, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Although my son did say something funny to me once. He said, "Well, Daddy's got a proper job because he goes out of the house, and you don't because you go into the office and work on your computer." I'm like, "Well, mine's a proper job as well." So we had to sit down and have a bit of a chat about that. Like, just because he puts a suit on and walks out the house, he's got the job and I don't. It's just like crazy.
That's quite interesting, because I mean, if he's always seen that dynamic, it's interesting that he still had the perception of actually Dad's got the proper job and Mum has. It's
he
quite
doesn't think that now. Let's just say that it's not a thing that I would knock that one right out of him. Now he realizes that actually it's just it is a flexible work anywhere type of job that I've got, and he does really appreciate what I do now. But yeah, it was that, and I don't know whether he'd got it from watching TV programs or something. I mean, it was Disney, but he was just watching too much Disney, and I was like, no, okay, I need to have a little bit of a rethink here.
No, that's amazing. That's really interesting. Really interesting. It's quite crazy, isn't it? You can have a certain just standard in the house, and yet these other things can still creep in as.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
absolutely. It's very interesting. All right, so here, over to you.
Siobhan, no one to give me a job. I just couldn't get a job, so I had to start a business. No, not really.
Create it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. No, I done what I do. This is my second business, so I saw a gap in the market before, and I had created a photography studio where it was a women-only team serving women like myself. So we had ladies who cover to come in and uncover and enjoy their beauty in a very safe environment, which was I loved it. It was brilliant. And unfortunately, they sold the land our studio was on. So I just had everything. And then Tesco's came in and really posh flats came in, and I just couldn't find somewhere. So I actually took a 4-year break, and stupidly, I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mum, and that was me done. And then I just started losing sleep. I need to get back to work, because I've always done my own thing. I've never actually been employed, so to speak. I've always worked as a freelancer in the arts industry, or had my own kind of clothing label. I've done quite a lot of stuff by myself. So walking into a job and doing a 9 to 5 is just not in my blood. I just can't do it. So then it was a case of, well, I really want my studio back, but I don't want someone to take the land from under my feet again. So I know I'll put my business in a truck. And that was it. And then I just thought that idea was so crazy. And I swear I spoke about it for about 4 years, to the point that I sat quietly thinking, I'm not going to do it. It's just a stupid idea. Then my son, who's 12 now, came to me and he was like, oh, when are you going to do this makeup box thing? And that's when I realized, I was just like, you know what? They might not be actively conversing with me about it, but they're listening and they're watching. And because I've spoken about it so much, like literally it was a point of saying either shut up or do it. You know, that's what everybody was going. So when I heard him say that, I was just like, you know what? If I don't do it, I'm just going to show them that your dreams might not be achievable, you know. And it was a case of, even if I do it and fail, at least I can say I tried. That's what I want to teach them, you know. Don't be afraid of failure. Just don't be afraid of failure. Just do it. And if it's going to work, it's going to work. And if it's not, it's not. So I done it. And I think my actual real why is for ladies to feel the strength to be able to buy that handbag they want, you know, do what you want. You own your stuff, enjoy your life. Do you know what I mean? Don't wait around for someone to approve, yes, you can get this. No, no. Get up, use your talent and do it. And I think that's my actual why, just to show my kids and to show other women that no matter how crazy your idea is, just go for it. You never know what can happen.
Amazing. I love that. Amazing. Just
that.
get up and do it. I like it. Just get up and do it.
Exactly.
No, that's great. More people do need to hear that, because there are so many negatives, isn't there? So many thoughts
failure,
that we consume.
Siobhan, failure, as you all know, failure is not the end. It's just a learning curve. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter, like all these quotes, it really doesn't matter how many times you fall. It's how many times you get up and keep going. And I've met some really strong women in my time, and they have really, you know, empowered me to go forward. And I love it.
That's fantastic. Love that. Love that. Take that as a quote, people. Take that as a quote today, please.
Write it down.
Right. Dumebi, over to you. Why did you decide to do what you do?
Okay. When I was younger, I didn't find myself as attractive. I used to try and like hide away in the background, and I used to like cover my face with my plaits up to here because I had moles on my cheek, and I was just so unconfident. And then it made me feel like I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to make people feel good about themselves, because I knew how I felt growing up. So I decided to go and do beauty therapy, the course, and then after that, an opportunity came about for me to open up a beauty women reception, which I did. And then from that, I'd done that for a year. And from that, I decided that I didn't really want to work for anybody again, because I enjoyed the fact of being my own boss, not having people telling me what to do, and being able to run my own ship. And that was before I had children. And in that, the year after I opened up the shop, it was doing well, and I was building clients and having wedding bookings and all the rest of it. I became pregnant with my son. So I closed up the shop, and I felt I wanted to work in film. So I went back into education, and I learned how to do film makeup, theatrical makeup, film makeup, wig making, and period makeup and hair. And I also learned about budgeting for the film. These are the bits that you learn on the job when you're working in film. But they taught us that in this course that I did for 2 years. Then from that, I went on to film. So you work for yourself, but you do have the supervisor, because I was working in the crowd room, you do have the supervisor telling you, okay, this is what the look is. I want you to replicate that, but you're still your own free agent, you know. And from that, I didn't know that I'll start designing, but that opportunity came to me 2 years ago. And so I designed my first TV show, the hair and makeup looks for that. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm doing this now. The opportunities opened up, doors that opened up for me, and I was able to now become a designer. So as well as doing makeup and hair, I'm designing the looks for the whole show, for a whole TV show or for the whole film. And I'm like, oh my gosh, see how you can elevate when you decide to do things for yourself. Doors start opening when you don't even You can't even see them about to open, but they do. I believe that you should invest in yourself and wait for that investment to grow, because it always does if you don't give up. You know, it always grows. And sometimes I feel we get to a point that we feel like, oh, it's just not happening, I'm just going to let it go. And that's the point that you've got to persevere.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you will reap the rewards. You know, if you get over that hurdle, you'll reap the rewards, because the way that doors open in our life is truly amazing. And we sometimes, like, if you sit here and you look back on your life and how your life has been within your work element and kids and marriage or whatever, and to what you're doing now as being freelancers, being your own boss, it's amazing, because, you know, we've all got a story to tell.
Yeah.
You know, of where we started from. But yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Amazing. It's so true. It's so true. You do get to these points at times where you can almost be a bit, you could be your own worst enemy sometimes, can't you? You can be like, oh, I'm not doing so well, and oh, why am I bothering? And or things are just not working out. That client that you thought you were gonna have changes their mind, and it's like, oh, actually no, or maybe, yeah, a door closes that you thought was yours and it wasn't yours. But it's true, it's remembering actually, if that door is shut, it was never meant to be yours, and there's something greater to come. And like you said, those opportunities that, you know, they will keep coming. There'll be great opportunities. So yeah, it's amazing, guys. You've shared some amazing, like, golden nuggets. Like, you've inspired me a lot, honestly. You've inspired me a lot today. And I'm sure you have inspired everyone who's been here and those that will watch after this as well. Question over to Jem. With the kids, what has been like the biggest challenge when it comes to being a working mum and looking after your kiddies?
I think just getting it all done. Just, you know, in the very limited time that I have. I just wish I could clone myself sometimes.
Yeah.
And have, you know, one of me walking around doing, you know, achieving one part of something and another part walking around doing the work. I think, yeah, so I think just getting it all done. I think obviously I feel sometimes very stifled by the structure of the school day. Like, always pick up at 3:30, always drop off at that feels quite limiting sometimes when it comes to meetings. But generally it's been good. I mean, I think the fact that everything is now, and it always has been, you know, the world feels smaller, and we have, you know, all these tools at our disposal, such as Zoom, etc. It means that actually I can get more work done. I have a lot of clients in the US, so I do a lot of evening work. But I think one thing that I realise is that instead of calling it work-life balance, I like to call it work-life blend or work-life integration. Because actually, if you accept that the two things don't coexist, it's not like I pick up the kids and then I don't go on my laptop. You know, actually, it doesn't work like that for me. I pick the kids up, I come home, they get their snack, get them all settled, they chill out, and then I will check my emails and reply to some emails, or I'll do an urgent thing, and then I'll go and see to them again. And it's, to be honest, it is one big happy mess for me. It just is totally integrated. And that works for me. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but that integration really, really works for me. And I think that the biggest challenge I had was when I thought it had to be all very neatly separated. And life's not neat and not separated. So, you know, I think parenting and work isn't either.
Absolutely. No, I love that. Yes, it's one little. You say one little mess? Did you say?
Well, a happy mess.
A happy mess. I like that. It's a happy mess. Yeah, that's great. I think I'll take that one, honestly, because there's like, I'm sorting out the food, or then Madam needs me for the homework, and then my 19-month-old needs me for this, or she's just done a poo and I need to change her nappy. Then I've got a client who's waiting for me to get back to them, and it's like, what?
The amount of multitasking that I think we do as working mums is insane. I mean, I think that is a skill that no one else can beat us on.
Oh,
that we're
fully.
just constantly multitasking.
And then when we ourselves are ill, we haven't got time, have we? It's
You
like
don't have time to get sick. What are you talking about?
No, I know. Exactly.
things still need to
I
get
ha-
done.
I
Forget
know,
the
it's
sickness.
crazy.
It needs to go
Yeah.
out the window. We ain't got time for it. Amazing. So here, question for you. You mentioned a mum's network. So how does someone build a mum's network for themselves to help
Talk to
them?
every mother in that playground. Not really befriend them all. No, we literally, it just naturally happened. I think it's where the children make friends, and like, you know, arranging those kind of play dates and arranging those times so they can gel together, and you ultimately do kind of gel with the mum. You should anyway. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we've got where my children go to school, we've got a really nice kind of, they're really inclusive. Everybody's really inclusive, and it's quite a close knit community. But I talk to everyone, Siobhan. So I like to chat and I like to talk. So when they want to have their play dates, I make sure that I make time for that, so we can meet other parents. So, you know, because you never know who you're going to need and who's going to need you. Do you know what I mean? So I always exchange numbers, always make sure that they have those play dates, and yeah, we've got each other to fall back on. So yeah, that's how I've grown my little mum's network, and it's lovely.
Amazing. So the key is chat to everyone.
Chat to everyone, yeah. Even if they're hiding, even if they're like, "Oh, she's here again," it's like, "It's me." No.
Hi, my name.
I'm not that bad.
No, that's good. That's actually a really key point, actually, because yeah, it's true, because through the kids you can build those relationships quite easily.
And maintaining those as well, making time for them. I know it's really hard because you don't. Oh, it's a Saturday, you don't really want to go, but it's nice because the kids get their time and you get to meet others in a similar situation to you.
Amazing. And Dumebi, question for you. You mentioned you have a nanny that stays in with you. How did you go about the selection process of a nanny, knowing that they would be with your kids so dominantly?
Okay, I inquired. Basically, I found a couple of agencies that does this, and I approached a few. I told them that what I need. So the system that the person that I've got is they're called Mother's Help. So basically, I give the lady the interview. I've had about 4 nannies since. So I've had a nanny since 2019, and I can't see my life without one now, if I'm honest. Like for my line of work anyway, and I put cameras in the house as well.
I like that.
So I could always, even though, not that I don't trust the person, but obviously, so I can look into what the kids are doing, speak to them on the camera. So even if I am away, it feels like I'm there, to a certain degree. And that just helped me feel better about, okay, being away for such long hours, you know, and stuff. So it was the interview process, seeing how my children get along with the person, the cooking as well, showing them how I like to cook and what my kids like to eat, and all of it, because I'm quite a protective mom, hence the camera. So, so I just wanted to know that this person can get on with my kids mainly, and can keep the house tidy the way I would, because I've got a bit of OCD a bit. So, so yeah, keep it tidy, cleaning, cooking, and just being able to get on with my children, you know. So
amazing. So
and
you
I
said
found
it's
that.
called, did you say it was called the Mother's Help?
Called Mother's Help, yeah.
Mother's Help. All right, make a note of that, people. Mother's
Yeah,
Help.
definitely.
We all need a bit of mother's help.
Really do.
How long did you say? Since 2019?
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to a few agencies and you went ahead with that one, Mother's Help.
No, the person, like that system is called Mother's Help, like as in
Right.
what I was looking for, not an au pair, Mother's Help. So the Mother's Help is
Okay.
what that does. She does everything that I would basically.
I see. Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, no, it's really good because often some parents get a bit stuck with, you know, the right way to go, what options are out there and stuff. So that's fantastic. All right, guys. Well, we've come to the end of our show. It's been absolutely phenomenal having you guys, honestly. Loads and loads of golden nuggets there for everyone to take, you know, and we'll see many more successful businesses as a result from you guys sharing this today. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Before you run away, would each of you share 2 tips to those that are either aspiring to start up a new business as a mum or are aiming to build and be more successful in their business? Whoever wants to go first.
Okay, before you ladies take up the words. Persevere. Keep going. Never give up. Sorry,
Love it. No, I love it. Love it. Thank you. So true.
You've said
Who's
it all now, we can go home.
Yeah, no, you have. You said it all.
I would say that if you dare to dream, write it down and make it a reality. Don't let the voice in your head, don't listen to that voice in your head. If someone tells you, oh, it's never going to happen, turn it around and make it happen. Because the amount of people that told me that I was crazy, I quite like being crazy. So it's okay, you know, just like I said, just do it. Don't allow your self-doubt to take over. And once in a while, stop and look back and see how far you've come, because we forget to do that. And literally when you're, because you're always on this mission to keep going forward, which is great, it's not a bad thing, but you don't give yourself enough credit for how far you've come. So always stop and just think, where was I a year ago? And just look at yourself and allow yourself to feel that achievement and then get back on and start running again.
Amazing. That's so true. We don't give ourselves enough credit, do we? We don't. We need to take that time out to reflect. Absolutely. So thank you, Shair, for that. Jem, over to you. What's your golden nuggets to share?
I think that you've said them all. But I think that if you've got a business idea, you want to work for yourself, then just begin. It may be that you do it as a side hustle, or you know, while you still got your main job, you give it up. You know that you give up your main job very slowly. But I think just beginning, making that first step, is often the hardest part. And things tend to fall into place when you do persevere and you do just begin. And you can work it out along the way. It's an evolving process. It's not, you know, like when people say get your business plan together. Yes, have a business plan, absolutely. Have a marketing plan, absolutely. But they don't have to be big, you know, they have to be 100-page documents. It can just be, you know, be one couple of sides of A4 and bullet points, and it's evolving. Everything evolves. Nothing is set in stone. So working for yourself and being a mother in business, it is an evolving experience with ups and downs and you know, twists and turns. So yeah, I would just say keep going.
Amazing. Definitely a theme here. Keep going, persevere, don't give up, don't give in to those negative thoughts, and make sure you give yourself more credit. Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, it's been so wonderful to have you. Until the next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Siobhan.
Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that's us. That's us. Episode 9 of the Womanhood series is over, but we will be back again soon. So stay tuned. Share, like, subscribe. We'll see you then. Take care.